Hello, this is Damon, the Global Gardener, taking you on a tour in Boulder, Colorado of a garden I'm taking care of. You can see the lilacs in the background. And this is like the pre-tour. I'll do a post-tour after planting. There's just a few things growing and a maple. They have some larger silver maples. But these, I don't know if you can see. We'll get down here. Lavender. But this is Stipa feathergrass. Is a terrible weed. I don't know why people plant it. I'm actually going to pull those out because they just make a mess with all the seed pods. Like, unless you really want them to fill in, it's a mess. And a blue spruce. And some of my favorite things are, it's later in May. It's actually May 16th. It's after the last frost date is May 15th. This is a lupine about to bloom. Those are lovely. We've got some, this is all previously planted, euonymus, ground cover. There's all the Centeranthus, the false valerian. This is interesting, May 16th, and this is, I believe, a flowering, or maybe a crabapple. It's hard to tell. Plum, I'm wondering now, looking at the trunk. But the buds are just about coming out. May 16th. There's some suckers down at the bottom, need to be cut off. And then these roses, I'm going to do a little bit of a rose tutorial, but also a pruner review. If you've seen my other videos, you know I like the Falcos and that they're the best thing ever, but there's another pair of shears I'm going to talk about in the other video. Got some daylilies. This is the other matching tree, and it's got bigger buds coming out. How does this focus on there? How about that? In the sky a little bit. Just coming out, barely. Seems like really late. There's nothing back here, so I got some Jerusalem artichokes. They'll get nice and tall, and sunflowers, and have delicious roots if one chooses to do that. There's no gophers in this area, and there's no prairie dogs are a thing in other areas of Boulder and of course Colorado, but there's none in this neighborhood garden. You can see there's all the houses around, obviously the traffic things there, signs and whatnot. A bunch of things are still just eking out. There's some geranium mallow stuff here. Even the peonies are just starting. They're kind of budding. Some of them are bigger. This is the other part of the yard with more lilacs and things. You can see I got a whole bunch of plants. I'm really excited. All kinds of fun stuff at the local nursery called Harlequin's that grows organic plants that are Colorado safe, I suppose. Got the Red Twig Dogwoods back here. They didn't do so well. They had 5 of them, but one died and they never replaced it. So I'm going to actually move that one over. So it's more of a grouping, and then there's plenty of space here to do all kinds of things. And it's nice mulch. I don't know about the stones in the tree pit. It just leaves fall in there. It's just a mess. It's kind of a silly feature. And I know why they did it, because putting mulch up against the tree can cause problems for the tree. They've been doing some root injections to get them boosted up a bit. Here's the peony that's doing the best, but the buds aren't that big. I think there might even be aborting. Maybe. The other buds in the neighborhood I've seen are just these big fat ones, and they have an ant on them because there's juices on there that they like. But this one's just not doing that well. These are these poppies. There's lots of these in the neighborhood. Big orange flowers. It's lovely. You can see I got some Sweet William dianthus. I love those. They're perennial. I got all perennials so far. That'll come back and flower better each year and spread out was the goal. These have bigger buds. These peonies have still small, but bigger than the other ones. There was a lot of things along here that just died, or like This is a hydrangea that's just kind of barely making it happen. I cut off all the dead stuff, and that was the only green parts. Everything else was snappy twigs. And it's, I don't know, not really worth saving, but I think along with everything else, it'll fill in eventually. I'll feed it a bunch and see what it does. Here's one. I'll try to get it in the sun better so you can see it, but it just has the dead twigs on the top and then the new growth at the bottom. So I don't know, it was kind of a good installation, sort of. It's pretty sparse. I guess they were expecting things to fill in, but they never fed them, so they didn't fill in. So here's the cotinus, the smoke bush. There's 3 of those, and they took forever to come out. They're still just coming out. And I don't know if they'll smoke much, but I fed them a bunch, so we'll see how that goes. This guy has green twigs, and boy, the buds are, it looks like they're starting to push, but wow, we're at the second half of May here, and I'm hopeful, but wow, it's like nothing. There's not a leaf on it. And there's even some of the larger trees around you can see that are starting to leaf out. So I don't know if that's usual, but it seems like late for anywhere really. And then a few things died along here, and there was some of that Stipa feathergrass I took out, and we're gonna put a lot of sedums and things along here. Some I got a few of them down in here, and the plumbago is nice. So that's the general pre-planted tour. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll post the updated version when I get things arranged and planted. A lot of placement. I got tons of different plants, so that'll be a fun tour. And I will see you then, and happy gardening. Happy 2020. It's like pandemic gardening. It's an interesting time for those of us in what's considered a low risk endeavor. New York City, where I usually garden, opened up, and to open up to landscaping yesterday was the 15th, May 15th, because that landscaping is one of the low risk kind of things to do, although we'd been opening up irrigation systems and whatnot because under building maintenance and plumbing we fit in there for that. So, but there's still clients that just don't want anybody coming around while things we're entering the second wave here, so interesting times indeed. But always things growing. All the seed companies are selling out of seeds because people are realizing that it's nice to have food growing and be in control of that, so you're not having to go out and risk things just to get food. And of course, having the time and being at home, there's homegrown food is obviously better and fresher than you can get anywhere else. I suppose that's it. There's all these bluegrasses I want to group together, because there's like one here, and there's one over there, and there's one over here, and they're beautiful, but having them in a group is a much nicer way to enjoy them, in my opinion. Got these nice Easter lilies that have come back. There's a fuchsia basket. I'm going to put some hooks up in here, hang the flowering baskets on that. I have some Mandevilla vines just in the pots here, but I'm going to put the pots up next to the poles, and so the poles can have flowers on them for the season and then come off during the winter, so that it's not good to have that on there too long because that'll damage the pole. Or putting like ivy on it will have the little feet legs of the ivy cling to the paint, and then it's kind of a feature to scrape that off and redo it. But that's a general tour. Got some snow in summer and some Just lots of fun ground covers and things to cover these pathways, lots of pathways. So having low things that you're not tripping over, but it's nice to look at while you're traversing is the general idea. Oh, I didn't even show you out front. My goodness, how could you forget? There's an entire iris bed, just spectacular. Purple irises on both sides. They've mostly run their course, and there's some strip sprays of irrigation that I'm needing to. They had half circle heads, and obviously this is not a circular bed. So to get these watered appropriately, there's yarrow is taken over in here, and these amazing purple irises. There's an iris farm just down the street where all these came from. It's been an iris farm for 100 years, multi-generation. And if you can see this ladybug, oh, I think it flew away. No, I dropped it off. Beautiful. All right, adios, signing off, the Global Gardener. This is Damon Lesjack and Lesjack Landscapes. Enjoy my other videos of botanic gardens, and I will see you around the world. I've landscaped in many states. I was just trying to count them because now that Colorado, I've done Hawaii, I've done Texas. Most of my career was in California. I've done New York. I've worked in Montana, Florida. Oh boy, 35 years. Been a lot of places, and it's always fun to learn new things and see how plants grow in different environments. That's why I love all the tours of botanic gardens around the world. So see you there. Enjoy.